Hello, my motor enthusiasts. You're tuned in to the heart-racing action here at F1 Motor Fever Podcast.
Hi there, Enzo. 2024 seems to be promising quite a spectacle in the Formula One circus, isn't it?
Absolutely, William. We have records that may tumble and milestones that could be achieved.
Ah, you're talking about Fernando Alonso, aren't you? The comeback kid.
You bet. If Alonso's lucky stars align, he may break the record for the longest wait between consecutive Grand Prix wins, a title currently held by Riccardo Patrese.
And then there's the saga of the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. Could that affect Alonso's total wins?
Indeed, Felipe Massa is trying to get the race, which Alonso won, retroactively cancelled. The outcome could change Alonso's career wins.
Alonso's not the only one in the spotlight, right? What's stirring up with Lewis Hamilton?
The seasoned champ is currently dealing with the longest win drought of his career. I'm sure he's raring to rewrite his fortunes this 2024.
And Max Verstappen, the winner of the 2023 season. He's not just sitting on his laurels, is he?
Not at all. He has a chance to beat his own record of winning 10 races in a row. Plus, he may even reach 100 podium finishes.
Fascinating. These stats are making me more excited for the 2024 season.
And we're just getting started, William. The upcoming season is set to break more records and provide thrilling performances. Hold on to your seats, folks. Hello, folks. I'm your host, Enzo, coming to you from the heart of London. I've spent most of my life in the world of Formula One, starting as a sports reporter and now hosting this podcast.
And hello from me too. I'm William, all the way from Birmingham. I've been a sports commentator across various disciplines, but my true passion lies with Formula One.
And you're tuned in to F1 Motor Fever Podcast, your daily pit stop for all things Formula One. We're here to bring you the latest news, updates, and chatter from the fast-paced world of motorsport.
Absolutely, Enzo. And don't forget about the interviews with key figures and our analysis of team strategies and car developments. You won't find a more comprehensive view of Formula One anywhere else.
That's right, William. And if you want to help us keep our engines running, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, drop us a comment, and share our show with your friends and family.
You know, every single share, every comment, they all go a long way. We're here because of you, our listeners. So thank you.
And believe me when I say we've got some startling revelations up our sleeves. You won't believe what's coming, so stick around, and as always, full throttle. So let's delve into this a bit more, shall we? The Formula One calendar keeps expanding, and so does the longevity of the drivers' careers. This means we can expect some new milestones for success and longevity in the upcoming 24-round 2024 season.
That's true. Fernando Alonso seems to be having a late career resurgence that few drivers in their 40s have enjoyed.
Quite right. Though he hasn't won a race during his 5th decade, his 8 podium finishes last year do indicate that he and Aston Martin have the potential. If he does, he would set a new record for the longest wait between consecutive Grand Prix wins.
That would be some achievement indeed. But there's also an outside chance Alonso may lose a victory before gaining another, isn't there?
Yes, you're referring to Felipe Massa's attempt to force the retroactive cancellation of the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. Alonso won this in quite controversial circumstances, and Massa's effort is to have himself named as that year's champion. Now, it may be a remote possibility, but theoretically, Alonso could lose what was the 20th win of his career, putting him down to a career total of 31, same as Nigel Mansell.
Well, I suppose only time will tell. But Alonso seems pretty set to extend his record as Formula One's most experienced driver ever, isn't he?
Yes, he is. The Mexican Grand Prix is due to be the 400th Formula One event he will participate in. However, the Qatar Grand Prix, 3 rounds later, should mark his 400th Grand Prix start.
That's astonishing. What about Lewis Hamilton? He's been waiting a while to win a race too, hasn't he?
Indeed, it's been over 2 years since his last victory. That's a total of 45 Grand Prix without a win, when he had never previously started more than 10 without taking a victory. I wonder if he'll end his wait during his last season before joining Alonso in the over 40s club.
One can only speculate. I'm sure there's more excitement in store as we proceed further into the season.
Now, let's shift gears to Max Verstappen. He's been having a feast in terms of Grand Prix victories, hasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. A total feast. In fact, he ended last season with 7 straight wins, and now there's a chance he could beat the record again at the Japanese Grand Prix.
Quite an achievement if he pulls it off. But even if he does, he can't climb further up the ranking of most successful drivers in terms of total wins. He stands at 54 wins, behind Hamilton on 103 and Michael Schumacher on 91.
True, but only 2 more pole positions would put him 5th in that ranking, and 2 more podium finishes would get him up to a century.
That's right. However, Hamilton needs only 3 more to become the first driver to hit a double century of podium finishes. Regardless of Mercedes' slump, it seems quite likely, don't you think?
Yes, it does. And speaking of records, there's another one that Hamilton and Verstappen might break: the record for most combined finishes in the top 2 places.
Absolutely. They've finished in the leading positions 20 times, tying the record Hamilton already held with Nico Rosberg. Michael Schumacher also led Rubens Barrichello home in the same fashion 20 times.
Imagine breaking that record. But considering Verstappen's recent run, perhaps another scenario may be more likely.
Ah ha ha ha. You know what? This all reminds me of a joke. What do you think Verstappen said when someone told him he might not win a 4th title after his run of 3 consecutive world championships?
Ha ha ha, I have no idea, mate. What did he say?
He said, "I refuse to break my winning streak." Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha! Oh, that's a good one. If only getting a 4th title was as easy as cracking a joke.
Ha ha ha. Indeed, my friend, indeed. So let's continue with our analysis. Verstappen has led Hamilton home in the top 2 places 16 times. The interesting question now is, which is more likely to happen first? Hamilton leading Verstappen home once, or the Red Bull driver doing the reverse 5 times?
Well, given Verstappen's form, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the latter first.
Quite possible. And it's worth mentioning that Verstappen's domination last year really thwarted many drivers' hopes, most notably Lando Norris, who finished second to him more often than anyone else.
That's true. And now, Norris is on the brink of breaking Nick Heidfeld's record for most podiums without a win if he doesn't clinch a victory before his next rostrum appearance.
Now that would be bittersweet, wouldn't it? In other news, Red Bull needs only 5 more pole positions to hit a century, and Mercedes needs 7 more podium finishes to reach 200.
That's impressive. On a side note, I heard a rumor that Yuki Tsunoda is being groomed to replace Verstappen at Red Bull.
Oh, hang on a minute. We must tread carefully with rumors. It's always best to check facts through reliable sources, like the official Formula One website or Bandeirantes, the official F1 broadcaster in Brazil. As of now, Yuki Tsunoda is beginning his 4th season at Red Bull's junior team, making him and Daniel Ricciardo the most experienced driver lineup ever at Red Bull's junior squad.
My apologies, I'll be more cautious in the future with such claims.
That's all right. It's always best to confirm the facts. Now, back to our discussion. We eagerly anticipate the return of the Chinese Grand Prix. It's been cancelled every year since it held the 1000th round of the World Championship in 2019.
Yes, and this year's calendar looks to be record-breaking with 24 rounds. Including sprint events, F1 will hold a total of 30 races this year. Quite a packed season.
Now, looking ahead, despite the growth in the number of races, there will be no new tracks on this season's calendar for the first time in 5 years.
An interesting turn of events, isn't it? With the lengthier calendar, more points will be on offer than ever before. Verstappen scored 575 points from a possible 620 last year, but this season, there will be 672 points up for grabs.
And same goes for Red Bull. They could surpass their score from 2023, as teams can score up to 1,146 points this season, assuming the point system for Grand Prix and sprint races remains unchanged.
That's a lot of points. Now, another interesting bit is the career milestones we should witness in the upcoming season.
Indeed. Around the time of the British Grand Prix, we should see Verstappen'S 200th Grand Prix weekend participation. Then, at the Dutch Grand Prix, Verstappen is set to start his 200th Grand Prix, with Carlos Sainz Jr. also marking his 200th participation.
And Alonso is heading towards his 400th participation and start, while Alexander Albon is set to mark his 100th participation and start, and Logan Sargent is expected to reach his 50th participation.
Quite a few milestones to look forward to this season. It's going to be an exciting year of racing, with every race potentially being a major turning point in the drivers' and teams' careers. William Turner, could you give us a brief rundown of what's being said online at the moment?
Certainly. User Antivirals recently posted a photo caption that reads, "Here are the team representatives Red Bull have sent up to the podium to receive the Constructors' Trophy in 2022 and 2023.
Oh, that should be interesting. What are people's reactions?
Well, user Apple in OC laughs and says, quote, "They even let one of the lawyers and a tire tech go up. At this rate, they're going to sell these appearances to the sponsors or do fan contests for them," unquote.
Haha, that's a good one.
Lucky Shamrock 19 is in stitches over the Senior Council Regulatory Affairs going up there. And Life is Good Go Bowling was hoping for the Chief Catering Officer to make an appearance as well.
That's brilliant.
The conversation doesn't stop there. Redbeard Rum quips that they probably had to fire the caterer due to budget issues, and Rogers 12GB jokes that the caterer is how they got past the budget cap. Penguin 85 even suggests a janitor should go up.
These comments are gold. Anything else of note?
DJRX clarifies it would be the Senior Facility Maintenance and Hygiene Manager, not simply a janitor. But Village People Cop recalls that Mercedes even started sending people from hospitality to the podium during their dominance, because everyone else working directly on the cars had already had a turn.
That's quite inclusive, really.
It is. There's a lot more, but the last one to mention is Bitter Ratata, who reminds everyone about the time Red Bull sent Honda up to get the trophy on their first win with the team. That was a touching moment.
Ah, yes, I remember that. Well, it's good to see the fans engaging and having a bit of fun with it all. Thank you all for joining us today on F1 Motor Fever podcast. It's been a pleasure discussing the latest in Formula One, from the upcoming season to the career milestones we should look out for, and even the humorous online chatter. Remember to engage with us by subscribing, activating those notifications, leaving comments, and sharing our podcast with your fellow racing enthusiasts. Your support truly means the world to us.
I hope you've had as much fun as we've had. Remember, we're with you every day of the week, so clear out your calendars, folks. And keep an eye out, we've got plenty more where that came from.
We're truly grateful for your continued support, and we look forward to the pleasure of your company in our next episode.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Enzo. Until then, remember our motto, Enzo and William, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold.